Stranger Things comes out this Friday. Season 4, Volume 2. That's gonna be insane. By the time this video comes out, it'll already be out and I'll have already reacted to it. Dude, who's gonna die? Are we gonna lose Steve? Are we gonna lose Mama Steve? I'm like that. Hello there! You may call me Miss Introvert, and today we are on our second entry of the Imposter Series. Despite the title, not all of you are imposters. In fact, this series is supposed to make you feel like you are writers, not imposters. And most importantly, it's to encourage you to keep writing and keep using that writing muscle. Even if it's a little bit of writing every day. You're still a writer, and you should just believe that. If you're new to the series and you somehow stumbled across this video, here is a link to the first one that I made. Anywho, why the frick did I say anywho? Today I'm going to be sharing a story about a time that I felt like an imposter so that you feel less alone, because that's one of the goals, feeling less alone. Because writing is a very lonely endeavor, so we've got to stick together. Also, comment down below validation because I need it. And while you're at it, like this video and subscribe. Also, welcome to my new kind of spooky vibe because I like it and I need that kind of ambiance in my life. It's not as decked out as it was last week, but there was that. Let's just say if I don't have the ambiance, I'm uncomfortable. I like it cold and dark. I'm like a vampire. Literally, I have a fan going right now and it's not even that hot out. Anyway, story time. I felt like an imposter just last semester. I free wrote all about it, which is ironic because I felt like a writing imposter while I was writing. That's how good this imposter syndrome is. I literally become stupid when it's around. I don't want to sound boastful or anything, but I am a writer. That's what I am. I don't have to keep bottling it up and telling myself that I'm not, because I am. And it feels gross saying that. Again, that's how good it is. So I've got this free writing notebook in this app called Evernote on my Mac, where I literally just write whatever comes to mind. It's literally called... Oh. We've got barking dogs. Just gotta wait it out. I literally just took them on a walk, so I don't know why they're upset. They should be tired. A tired dog is a happy dog. Victoria Stillwell. I love you. It's called Free Writing, No Perfection Allowed, and I encourage you to do something similar along the lines of that if you're having trouble writing, because just getting something on the page is what it's all about. Anyway, I'm writing in this notebook, and all of these things about my complication in writing come to mind, and I'm thinking about how a lot of my ideas are developing incoherently in different places, like my essay writing, in my novel writing, in my poetry writing. Yeah, I've always had this problem of getting my ideas out on paper when there are so many voices talking at the same time and I want to mention everything I'm hearing, which makes editing a beast most of the time. But when it comes to essays and papers, you don't want to have a scrambled idea. You want to have organization, you want to have clear transitions, you want to have a thesis statement that's clear throughout the rest of your essay, and you want to have a clear idea. And my profs were helping me out with this. I mentioned a lot of that. In my last episode. They were pointing out where my ideas were inconsistent and how I could be clearer in my writing. And I'm sure I've had unclear scripts in my videos before, and for that I apologize. I literally had to go back to the beginning of essay writing and just make sure I was following all the steps, having an idea and then a supporting idea, and then just using all of these different techniques to make sure that it was all coming together. And it was difficult too, starting from scratch and then learning university level stuff. Anyway, these are just some of the thoughts I was having during that time, literally from that free writing entry I did. I think it was sometime back in February or March. So let's look at it. Also, this is free writing, so I was not allowed to go back and edit. Not as a barrier kind of thing, but as a freedom kind of thing, because sometimes when you go back and edit while you're trying to draft, it totally throws you off. So if something sounds weird, I'm probably going to tweak it and explain what I'm saying. I feel like my writing has gotten less and less coherent as I've been learning to make it more coherent. I keep telling myself that I'm a writer, and there are high points in my life when I did that rather than the times that I denied my talent and wallowed in self-doubt, purposefully and outright. I have so many brilliant ideas that I can't get into writing, and it's not how I want to structure the stories, but how to structure the ideas within the story. I try to understand things outside of my creativity, the creativity or logic of someone else, and nothing comes of it. Really, right there I was trying to say that, like, the books that I'm reading on how to write and, like, the lectures I'm getting on how to write, as I was, like, trying to, like, put all these lessons together and make them my own thing, that takes a long time, and I was really rushing through that way too much, so I really had to slow down instead of taking everyone else's techniques that they were using. Expert techniques, true, but it was just so much at the same time. And sometimes learning how to write isn't always helpful, because you also have to be exploring your own form of writing. For the most part, it can be helpful, but you have to find your own voice, and sometimes that's not always easy when you're looking at like a million different ways to find your voice, or a million different ways to develop an idea or form a character or anything else, when you're looking between Stein and Stephen King books about how they wrote or about how they learned from their experience in editing. And that's their experience, it's not your experience. You can always learn from their experience, that's why they wrote the book. So it's a little, it's confusing. It's like, it's helpful and it's not helpful. I'm still learning how to like channel their helpful regards and still bring in my own flavor, because I'm my own writer, if that makes any sense. So if you're feeling like an imposter when there are so many different voices telling you to do everything at the same time, take a step back, maybe take some notes on the things that you like about it, these different teachers, what they're telling you, these different authors on what they've written about writing. Take a step back, see what you like, see what you don't like, what's your opinion on it, and that may change over time, but focus on right now. Focus on, how is this helping you as a writer? How is this not helping you as a writer? Anyway, back to the entry. I try to understand things outside of my creativity, your creativity or logic of someone else, and nothing comes of it. Just thoughts that I think are there. Then when those thoughts are denied, I assume all of my thoughts are wrong. But how can any one of my thoughts be right when there are a million other alternatives? One or even a select few of them being actually right. My professors say that I complicate things, and they're right. But there's one professor that complicates things for us. We all know him. We all have that professor who has complicated instructions. I understand that he wants us to act like adults, but adults need clear instructions too, not just instructions that change. Then again, the rules of this game of life change every day, and with those rules, circumstances change, and within those circumstances, more rules fall away and change, and all of a sudden we've adapted. But that's just when another change comes along and we have to adapt all over again. So what do we do? What do we do if we're constantly adapting to change that we're not ready for? We've already adapted to a change. See, none of this makes any sense. Well, I mean, if you've already adapted to a change, you're probably a bit more ready to adapt to another one. Then again, you just got used to that change. So I guess I get what I'm saying. Why is this philosophical now? It's too complicated. I'm too complicated. No one will ever understand me. Why do I sound like a junior high student? Why am I going through an adolescent phase like this? I should be understandable by now. People should be able to understand me because I effectively communicate things. So why can't I effectively communicate things? It's like my brain is trying to come up with a million conclusions at once, and once it finds the answer, it can't articulate it out of the mouth. It's starting to not be able to articulate it in the brain either, so I don't know what to do about it. It is satisfying to hear myself type so fast like this. I wonder if anyone is envious of the fact that I'm typing something and they're not. I think I was in the library at that time. Maybe they have a paper due and they haven't started it yet, and they hear me typing and they think I'm better than them. What a horrible thing to think. But I thought it and I wrote it down. I think about it all the time. So here I am, not writing a paper, but a diary entry. There is a paper I need to write though, but I've already started it, so it's fine. That is my justification. If I've already started ahead of time, then it's fine. So yeah, lots of justification and learning points to look at, but you know, we were learning. And that's where we all are. We're all still learning. Maybe you're not still learning. Maybe you're like a master. Why are you watching this video? Imposter syndrome may tell us that we're not writers, but in reality, we're just not perfect writers. We are the writers we are right now, and as long as we're writing, we are writers. That was a lot of writer's word usage, and my mouth hurts, but you get the idea. I hope. So yeah, when you're feeling down about your writing, write down how you feel about it. It helps a lot. And remember that you are a writer. And that's all for today. Again, subscribe, follow me on the socials, and I'll see you next week. Hey, bye!